Okay, wasn't you just talking to her? Can she provide all them information to you?
Well, let me ask you this. What I was just talking to her. What if she told me that you beat the out of her and you jumped on top of her and started punching her in the face? Should I just go ahead and take that?
Okay, but don't you know?
It's your side of the story. Give your side.
All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying?
Gervonta Davis has finally spoken after reports surfaced about his arrest and the cancellation of his anticipated match against Jake Paul. The fighter, widely known as Tank, is now facing a new civil lawsuit involving allegations of serious domestic issues. So far, his team and coach have remained mostly silent, offering very few public comments. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's November 14th event hangs in uncertainty as organizers and promoters look deeper into the situation surrounding Davis.
He's a lightweight. So, by all means, if they make a few quid and nobody gets hurt, then great. But I certainly wouldn't be paying a penny to watch it. I think it's just absolutely ridiculous, farcical. Who wants to watch an exhibition? Gervonta Davis is in his prime years. Why is he wasting his time? Why is that having a rematch with the fella he got a draw with? Why is he not fighting? Why is he not going up a way and fighting Lopez and Garcias and them fighters? Why is he fighting Jake Paul in an exhibition? I get the money's great, but he's in the prime years. This is his best year. This is where he can become. Maybe you don't want to be an all-time great. Maybe you don't want to do all that stuff. Maybe you just want to...
A civil lawsuit filed in Miami-Dade accuses Gervonta Davis of multiple serious offenses, including battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. If these allegations prove to be true, they could have major legal consequences and a severe impact on his career. According to recent updates, the case remains a civil matter at this stage, with no new criminal charges filed in connection with the complaint so far.
WBC lightweight world champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis was arrested earlier this week for closed fist slapping his daughter's mother. What's a closed fist slap? Is it like this? Bro, you can't be closed fist slapping women. You can't be slapping women at all. But don't you know your hand is like Thor's hammer? Bro, you can go to jail for even flicking somebody, man. Don't you got a fight coming up? Or are you trying to ruin your career?
At the moment, Gervonta Davis has not released a detailed public statement sharing his side of the story. Instead, the first response came from his inner circle, with his coach mentioning that Davis is doing fine and that they're still trying to understand the situation. This brief and cautious statement seems designed to keep Davis out of the media spotlight, while his legal and promotional teams handle the details. Meanwhile, Jake Paul's company, Most Valuable Promotions, confirmed it has begun an internal investigation following the lawsuit. Their statement emphasized that they condemn all forms of violence, are gathering facts, and will decide on further actions once the review is complete. Although the fight technically remains on the schedule, it could be postponed or canceled depending on what the investigation reveals. Inside reports suggest that the November 14th event is more likely canceled than delayed. According to an update from Dame Mara on X, there's about an 80% chance the fight won't happen on that date. Originally planned for Atlanta's State Farm Arena before being moved to Miami, the matchup seemed ideal for modern audiences, a perfect blend of social media fame and classic boxing appeal.
When a fairly novice Jake Paul made a wish list of future opponents, and right in the middle of that list was Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Many laughed at the time, and some still can't believe we're here. But these two young men are the face of boxing for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They are the two biggest boxers in America, and they are putting it all on the line. One has the speed, the skill, the accuracy, and the one-punch knockout power. The other has the size, the force, and the unbreakable confidence to make this must-see Netflix. The size difference is...
The matchup's rules and overall setup added even more intrigue to the situation. Gervonta Davis, a lightweight champion who typically competes between 135 and 140 pounds, was set to face Jake Paul, who had moved into the cruiserweight range. During the press conference, it was announced that the upper weight limit would be 195 pounds with 12-ounce gloves, along with other conditions. Davis openly questioned the fairness of the rule set and the size difference between him and Paul. But the unique nature of the bout, combined with its heavy promotion, made it one of the most highly anticipated fights of the year, a potential sellout event that could have drawn massive attention from both boxing fans and casual viewers alike.
Watch is Tank Davis versus Jake Paul. I want Tank Davis to knock his block off. I'm sick of the Paul brothers, both of them. I can't stand either one of them. And I know I'll get pounded with emails. You're just jealous. No, I'm not jealous of them. I could care less how much money they make. I don't like their attitude. I don't like the way they conduct themselves. I don't like the way they think. You know.
Boxing fans across social media have grown increasingly skeptical of Gervonta Davis, accusing him of avoiding top-tier opponents such as Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez in favor of a more financially rewarding matchup with Jake Paul. Many believe his recent choices are being guided more by profit and publicity than by the pursuit of true athletic competition or legacy building within the sport.
We wouldn't go ever fight no Shakur Stevenson, no Keyshawn Davis, no Teofimo Lopez, no none of them dudes. You know what I'm talking about? We gotta think and look at Tank Davis's whole career. He done made some bread, but at the end of the day, all that bread that he made, when it's all said and done, he ain't gonna get no respect from his peers, because we gonna look down his resume and we gonna be like, he was trash, he was some trash, he was some trash, he was alright, but he was never like that. He was okay, he was some trash, he was some trash.
Initially, Gervonta Davis was expected to face Roach in a rematch after their first bout ended in a controversial majority draw. The plan was for Davis to settle unfinished business and strengthen his legacy with a decisive victory. However, when the opportunity to fight Jake Paul arose, bringing with it a much bigger paycheck and worldwide attention, Davis's team quickly shifted focus. Reports indicate that the fight with Paul could earn Davis around $50 million. While some analysts like Stephen A. Smith didn't directly criticize the decision, their remarks underscored how modern boxing has evolved. Today, legacy-defining matches often take a backseat to blockbuster crossover events that promise huge pay-per-view audiences. For Davis, the bout against Jake Paul represents more than just a test of skill. It's a chance to reach a global audience that extends well beyond traditional boxing fans.
He's in a division where he's got killers all in his division. You know, Shakur, Haney, who's 147. You know, you look at Teo, for example, Keyshawn, and then you choose to fight someone like Paul. Surely that's a concern when you do look at it like that.
Yeah, but again, it's the well-being. If you can get a huge amount of money to fight someone who's never boxed really before, you're going to do it. You know, Floyd Mayweather boxed Logan Paul with a huge weight disparity.
He was done by then. He was done. Like, this is an active world champion.
But it's the well-being.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. You know, when it comes down to it, it's just like Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. Two completely different sports. Was the biggest pay-per-view in recent times, wasn't it? Maybe if ever.
Those are like different comparisons though, if you think about it. Do you not like?
Yeah, but the sport's in a wild place, isn't it? That's just, I'm just like the reality of where we are, you know. And I can't really say much when we're talking about Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua at the same time. You know.
Do you think Tank should get stripped of his title?
Yeah, I think anyone who, just in general, doesn't defend their title to do something else should get stripped, because it shouldn't hold the belts up. You know, in any, like, I think that should be the reality in anything. You know, if you're not going to defend your belts, or you're not defending, sometimes there's the rules. Obviously, if you fight for a belt at a higher weight, you can retain the belt until there. But if you're not, don't have intention of defending the belts, you shouldn't hold the belts up. People should get the opportunity to fight for them.
What happened with the failed negotiations between AJ and Jake Paul?
I think anything's still possible. That was always discussed for next year. You know, this fight's November, early part of next year.
money. So,
But the fight against Jake Paul ain't going to happen anyway. It ain't going to happen. We can all believe it. Jake Paul.
Eddie Hearn said he's 99% done.
Because you know what? Jake Paul's done a great job in hustling Eddie.
Yeah.
He's going to get so either Eddie's in on it or he's like this young man hustling.
Yeah.
And so the kids kidded the kidders.
Well, listen, we've had a chat, we've caught up. We'll have another chat as well in a.
I'm going to do some sunbathing, man.
Days, bit of sunbathing. Top up the town.
Yes, I baby.
Might as well.
Black is the number.
Let us know in the comments below who you think wins the fight and what Anthony Joshua should be doing next. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Let us know in the comments below. This has been another episode of Froch on Fighting. Got the main man here, Johnny Nelson, aka Blick Man. We'll see. He said it, not me. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. What next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been playing?